welcome back to Manc Pod for episode 8. It is crazy, but we are glad to be back for another week with you guys. If you haven't already, please head over to our socials, give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, have a little watch of us on YouTube, and have a listen to us on Spotify. You can do one or the other, you don't have to do both. If you want to, that's also good. But yeah, we would absolutely love it. As you all know, we have a giveaway going on. We want to get to 500 followers on Instagram, and then we will give away a sexy little boozy brunch at Menagerie. So we really want to get to 500 followers by Valentine's Day. So please, please, please just share with all your friends, and one of you will win.
Good luck.
Right, let's get into it.
Yes.
What have you been up to this week?
So I've been working, obviously, but around that, I have been tarot card reading for the first time. I'm not really into all that kind of stuff, but I am quite spiritual in terms of like, I like to believe that there is something in the air that helps you and sort of protects you, etc. But yeah, so we had a little Google, didn't we, to try and find some places and try it out. We actually was doing this for our girl gang because there's so many of us in the group and we're all like, let's try it out, let's see what the fuss is about. So we thought we'd give it a little bit of a test drive, and we loved it, didn't we?
We absolutely loved it. It was so good. Like Liv said, we were going to do it as a group anyway, but we've never done this before, have we? So it was one of those things that we thought, let's give it a test before we organise a night where either someone comes to our house or we go somewhere and everyone spends all the hard-earned cash on something and everyone's like, that was rubbish.
Yeah.
But so I did some Googling and I found this place which is a 10-minute walk from my house, and it was just so good.
Yeah, you walk in and straight off the bat, like, you're dead relaxed. She's got like incense burning. Yeah. And there's lots of like witchy, like sort of paraphernalia around. And it is really, really nice. But look, and the ladies there were so good. And obviously once we've, because we're going to do some more sessions, I think, aren't we, in future? So once we've done some more sessions, we'll share who it is with. But honestly, it was so good. Like, I couldn't believe it, to be honest.
No, same. I think that the moment we got in, we felt really relaxed, which was nice. I mean, there was incense going everywhere, wasn't it? It was really warm, really cozy. And I think that January is just that time of year where this is good.
I know.
You know, even if you don't, like, I'm spiritual as well. Like, I was brought up Christian, so naturally that's kind of just in me. But I've always thought that, like, believing in, like, having a religion and witchcraft and stuff, they are not two things that like align. So I've always been skeptical and kind of always been like, my path's my path. It is what it is, like, you know.
Just run with it.
Yeah, let's just go. Yeah. But I have always wanted to just have a little
curiosity though.
It is.
Sort of like, it's that thing of like, what are they going to say? What are they going to tell me?
Yeah, is it true? Is it magic?
Yeah.
Like,
is it like, and I think as well, like, I think when we went, the one person that we went to was so good in terms of like, she was like, you know all this information that I'm giving to you, but I am pulling it out of you because actually you bury it and you bury it and you bury it. And actually, she was so right. It's all stuff that we kind of knew about ourselves anyway. Yeah. It's just that we kind of don't think about it, or like, it's not in the forefront of our minds.
Yeah, and I think as well, some of the stuff, sometimes as a person, I think that we just... You think of yourself in a certain way, and, you know, I do this because it's just who I am. And sometimes it's quite nice for someone to turn around and go, you don't. Yeah. You don't have to do that. You don't always have to be a giver. You don't always have to, you know, carry everyone else's burdens. Like, we'll go into what they said to both of us in a minute, but just to kind of summarise, it was just really nice to have just someone, it was so calm and so relaxed and so lovely that even if you're not, like, madly spiritual or... like they actually said, because I spoke to them about the fact that I was brought up Christian and I didn't really think there were two things that aligned, and they were like, well, actually back in the day, like years and years and years ago, hundreds, thousands of years ago, it actually stemmed from
job roles, just normal job roles.
But
it's a midwife and like a vicar. And she named like a few others.
And it comes from Christianity. All witches used to be Christian, which is crazy. Blows my mind because that is, like, I feel like I need to do loads more research on it. But She was like, you know, Jesus, if you believe in Jesus, literally turned water into wine. Yeah. He healed the sick.
Yeah.
Like, he did so much magic.
Yeah.
So you probably couldn't get more magical
than... It
than...
makes sense, like, you can't get more, witched and wizardry than
exactly.
that,
And
really.
apparently it's like Wicca magic, which was from the 1950s, that's kind of what's turned it all kind of evil and witchy and black hats, you know.
Like voodoo-y, type vibes, yeah.
But they were just so nice. They answered all our questions. Yeah. They were really reassuring.
So warming, and like there was no negative vibes at all. Like I was a bit like, oh, like is it going to be like a bit, because obviously you can get like black magic, like dark magic. And I wasn't too sure what we were going to be walking into, but actually they were really welcoming, dead soft, and like it was so funny because they were so contrasting. Like it was like a family business basically. It's a mother and daughter, and they've had it for 10 generations. So they've literally been doing it for however many years.
Yeah, all their lives.
And they've moved around the country. They've got family around the country, and I think it was just nice, wasn't it, to get to know them. They got to know us.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they didn't get to know us until after the reading. They didn't...
and to note on that, I got in touch with them, so they could have done background checks on me, you know, to look into who I was and stuff, but I didn't even give them Liv's name. I just said I'm coming with a friend. So the first time that they met Liv was this morning, and I didn't even tell them Liv's name.
No. So I walked in, obviously quite reserved, and I was like, I'm not going to give anything away. So normally I'd go in and introduce myself, because I would hate for not say who I am, because it's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, oh, hi.
But that's what she did.
But I did, and it was a bit awkward. I did walk in, I was like, oh, hiya. And they're like, hiya. And we obviously took a seat. They offered us a brew, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like having a look around the shop, looking at all the little things that they've got, like they had like some key rings and like bracelets, and
loads of
herbs
and
herbs. Yeah. It was like proper legit
witchy,
stuff. It was real witch stuff. But yeah, no, it was really, really nice. And then they were like, oh, which one of you do you want to go first? So obviously I was like, me, because I'll do anything. I don't mind. So I took a seat, and she shuffled a deck of cards and just started pulling them out, didn't she?
So she let us pick our own deck. So she gave us the option of 3 different ones, and we could pick. And she just basically said, I let you pick, because if you already have a connection with the deck, for whatever reason, maybe it's your favourite colour, or you just feel connected to that, you're more likely to feel a connection with the cards that are picked. But the cards, there must be a stack this big of cards.
They're massive. That's so big.
Yeah.
And like she was shuffling them and shuffling them and shuffling them. So at any point, like, you just don't know what you're going to get. And she says that, and we asked her this obviously after the reading, she was like, she gets like an overwhelming feeling to just stop shuffling. And she just knows when to stop, because, I don't know, she just gets like a...
Yeah, she was saying she's looking at you, and while she's shuffling, and then all of a sudden this feeling comes up, and she'll stop. Yeah. And then she'll deal. Yeah. We went with 5 cards, so they offer 3 cards, 5 cards, and 10 cards. The more you get
into it this time.
Yeah, the more in depth. But obviously, because neither of us had been before, I was like, let's do 5. Yeah. Because if we did 5 and we're like, this is
might be too in depth, or it might be a crock of shit.
Yeah, basically. Exactly. Yeah. So we did 5, and I actually think it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just enough for us to like get an idea of it.
Definitely.
But then not too much for us to be able to go back.
Absolutely. Like, I would go back later on.
I want to go today.
It was so good.
So
considering both of us are skeptical, it's so good. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into what they said about us. Do you want to go first? Can you really remember?
Yes, I can. So basically the way she mapped it out is like it was 5 cards. So you have like the top card, 2 cards, 2 cards. The top one is like where you're at now and where you're currently like going. And then the other 2 are like your present and your future. Yeah. And then it's kind of like your future, what you are as a person and how others perceive you. So it was quite really well done, wasn't it? So the first one was like, it was basically a guy with a little animal next to him. I think it was like a cat.
Black cat.
Yeah. And he was very well dressed, and he was looking for directions. He had a big map in his hand. Well, not in his hand. He had a big map in front of him. And it was basically like a direction, like a wooden post with like the different directions on. And she's basically was saying that, like, obviously you're on a mission, you're gonna go, you're on an adventure, you're really looking forward to it, you're really excited, there'll be lots of things obviously coming your way kind of thing, and that you throw yourself into every kind of opportunity that comes along. And to be fair, it's true.
Yeah, and she was saying the map, it was quite vague. Yeah. So it's saying like you're on this path, you're on this journey, like you find your path, you go for it. Like just
you don't know what to expect,
you
don't know what's going to come of it, but you're just willing to just go out and do it anyway and just crack on with it.
And you're not alone. Like their little cat in Witch World, black cats are lucky.
Really lucky.
And it was just that, like on this journey, you're not alone. You'll always have a companion, which is so nice because obviously you've got Pun and you've got some great friends. So that was really nice. Carry on. Then you go into the near future, which is from day one. So from today, up to about a year.
Yes. This one was a lady who again was it's a lady this time. And she was well dressed, and she was like walking through the streets, and like there was a well dressed beggar begging for money. And I was like chucking coins at them, theoretically. And then on the left-hand side, was like a really old, frail woman who wasn't begging for money, but was begging for food. And obviously I was giving her food at the same time. And, offering food.
You had a basket of food.
Oh, I had a basket of food and she was taking the food and he was and I was giving him the money.
And he was taking it.
And she was basically saying like, you give a lot of yourself to everybody that you love and you care about, and you give almost too much, and like don't try to be clouded in judgment on people that are around you, because not everybody's in a positive way. And she was just basically saying like, obviously people are going to try and take advantage of your niceness and your good nature, which I think was so sweet. I think it was really, really sweet. I actually got emotional at that point because I just thought, God, like it was overwhelming. It was an overwhelming feeling.
It was
like having that card read out to you. And she was just like, basically just be careful, beware, like that not everyone's means good in the world, and that people are there to take advantage of it. So that was a really interesting one. Obviously, like that was a present card, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from a friend point of view, like Liv is probably one of my friends that gives to everyone. She'll cheerlead everyone. Like she's just such a good cheerleader. Like go, like he just wants the best for everyone. If she can help anyone, I know for a fact if I said, I'm going through something right now, and it didn't matter if Liv was giving birth or like walking down the aisle, if I rang her, she'd pick up the phone, she'd be like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like she'll just give. And I think it's understanding that people will constantly take, because who wouldn't? You know, if someone's constantly like, you can have my time, you can have my money, you can have my generosity, people are going to take that. And so it's just about being aware that actually not everyone who you're giving to deserves that because some people are just never going to give back, and that's fine, but just be wary of who you're giving to, because some people might really need that, and you might not have the capacity to do that. So it was very, very apt for Liv. Even I felt overwhelmed and like emotional when she said that, because I was like, oh my God, this is so Liv, and we're only 2 cards in.
I think as well, like I just feel like sometimes, like even when my actual battery is so low and my mental health is so poor, I still want to show up and be there for my friends. Like if my friends texting me or calling me, it's because they need me. It's not because they've got nowhere else to go. They want me to be able to show up for them. So I feel like I want to be that stable person for them at that time. So I do find it really difficult to not give. I sort of to my own detriment give myself to everybody.
Yeah, but I think it's just trying to like manage value and go, right, well, who is, and it's not all about give and take, but it's about looking around going, does that person serve me anymore? Does that person give me anything? Do I get joy from being with them? Not even like money and like, do they take me on nice holidays? Like, is that person actually adding value to my life? And if not, it's not about having a fallout and saying like, see you later. It's just about going, okay, well, maybe we're going to have a bit of distance between ourselves. Maybe I'm not going to give as much time to you, and I'm going to put that time into that friend who actually is giving me loads, or into my job because I really need to give the hour to that right now. So it was amazing. Anyway, next card.
The next one was a guy at the top of a tower looking at the view, and he was with his cat. And she basically said that I'm gonna be high up, so whatever I'm putting all my energy into, I'm going to have a really good time, obviously the adventure getting there, but then I'm also going to enjoy it when I get to the top as well, because I'm going to have a gorgeous viewpoint and it's going to be amazing. And I'm still going to have my cat, my company, throughout the whole journey as well, which is really, really nice. Because I do think I work bloody hard.
You work really, really hard.
Almost too hard, because obviously I do end up, it's sort of
burning
out, but also missing out on things, e.g. family, friend stuff, because of my job, because I want to give everything to it. But I just thought that was really nice. So hopefully eventually like it pays off, which from the card, hopefully.
Yeah, and that card was anything from a year onwards. So not the immediate future, the distant future.
Yeah, that's like the next 6 months plus. Yeah. Or even a year.
Year plus.
Yeah.
But it was just nice because it was saying like, all this hard work, all this planning, this journey, you're going to get to where you want to be. And again, from a friend's point of view, I say to Jamie, I say to everyone, Liv is going to be the director of a company one day, or she's going to, like, you're going to, like, run this stuff, because Liv has always wanted to be in TV. From literally 16, 17, younger, has always wanted to be in TV.
I live it and breathe it. Like, I love it to the bones of it. Like, there's nothing
else you would do.
It's almost like, I feel like you're almost married to the job as well as your partner.
Yeah.
Like, and it sounds awful, that, doesn't it? But I get the best rush and adrenaline from my work.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it. Like,
yeah. And so Liv puts everything into it, like everything. Even when it's not serving her, she will still give 100%. And half the jobs don't even deserve the stuff that Liv gives to it, because she gives a billion.
You too, honestly.
Yeah, but we're talking about you. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just Liv will definitely get to the top, probably sooner rather than later. And she will run a company. She will run the industry. Like, Liv will make it. But again, another amazing card which really was perfect for Liv. Yeah.
I think I just needed that, like, because I think at the moment I'm at a bit of a crossroads with just everything at the moment. So I think having these cards pulled up, like, they all meant something to me, which is good.
They were all so relative to Liv and Liv's life and where Liv wants to go, and they were just really reassuring really pack, I think.
I really think so. So then the next one was how I perceive myself. And it was basically a lady, again, well-dressed, and she was handing out roses to other people, and everyone behind her was like clapping and cheering and like smiling. And it was basically like, I am proud. I am like, I'm happy to give others my time, my energy, my whatever, and to make people happy. But then also, like, it had a big crowd behind them that were clapping. So then I'll have like cheerleaders, e.g. obviously Grace today. She's my cheerleader every single day of my life.
Every day.
But yeah, you'll have cheerleaders along on that ride with you. And it was just really nice. There was a few at the back that she kind of mentioned that, like, obviously sometimes there is going to be people around you that I maybe don't see the positives in being like a cheerleader or whatever. I might see it as a negative or a threat or a competition or whatever. But she was like, but obviously just don't let that stop you from doing what you're going to be doing in life, kind of thing. Which is really nice.
Yeah.
And then the next one, it was a woman. It was Queen of Swords.
It was Queen of Swords.
Yeah, it's Queen of Swords, and it was basically, and this is me to a T, and I'm spilling my guts here because this is like, I'm literally giving you everything. But basically, this woman is sat on a throne. She's like a queen, and she's got a big sword in her hand, and she was basically saying that I have a really hard exterior, but actually underneath it, I am the most sensitive, squishy soul you've ever met in your whole entire life. And I do take things to heart, and I am very like, I'm very soft inside, but it does take a lot of layers to be peeled back for you to get to that point. And I definitely think that's true. I am quite hard-faced in terms of like, well, I've got a resting bitch face for one, but I think like, and not intentionally, it's not, I would never want to like stop someone from talking to me. It's more to protect myself, because I think sometimes you can get hurt by giving someone everything all the time. And I think that like, I try and sort of get to know someone before I start peeling back and being personal with someone, because I just don't know whether, I like to protect myself. And she was saying that is exactly what the card stood for, basically.
Yeah, it was basically saying that she's got this hard exterior because that's what queens have to do. Like, they're decisive, like they are strong women. And yeah, you have to have a bit of a front sometimes when you're a queen, because people will just take advantage because you make big decisions and people want stuff off you. Yeah. So you've got to know what's right, what's wrong. You know, you have to be a strong, independent woman, and that is exactly what you are. But on the flip side of that, sometimes you can come across to other people as maybe a bit cold and a bit hard, because people are like, who is this person? Like, how can I like bond with someone who's not really giving me much? And again, like, it hits the nail on the head with Liv's. Like, she is this, I mean, I have always thought you've just been the most warmest, welcomest
in college,
person.
Probably not as warm.
No, I feel like you always were.
That's good.
But
you see where it's coming from.
As we've gotten to know each other more, I do think that as a person, like, it takes you longer to give everything and pour your heart out to people and say, do you know what, I'm going through this, or this has happened in my life, because you think, well, who are you? Do I trust you? Like, that connection and being vulnerable.
Like, I think just like being bearing all, basically. It's very difficult to do that when you've just had a lot of experiences.
In Liv's life, like, not to pour your heart out to everyone else from me, but in Liv's life, like, as with everyone, to be honest, you go through a lot, and things happen in primary school, high school, college, that really teach you who you are and
make you, mold you into the person.
Yeah, definitely. And
I think you do need people around you, good, solid people, to be able to lean on. Yeah, so people to lean on. And I think, like, I would like to think, again, with the boss bitch queen.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to think that people can lean on me, and I would always want to lean on them also. Yeah. But I think it's just obviously peeling back those layers, basically, and getting to know me more.
Yeah. No, really they were really good. But I do just want to say on this topic, like, all Liv's cards really were quite positive. Like, she definitely didn't, hide anything. And she did say, sometimes you can come across maybe a little bit like this to other people. And,
she was very delicate in how she explained the cards, because obviously, like, there were some quite not hard ones, because they were all very positive, but the way she delivers it was just so soft.
It was really gentle.
I don't think she could have done any better than that.
No, that's what we wanted, because there's other types of magic, like bone throwing and stuff. And the woman, I think she's called Sal, Mama Sal, she's known by, she does bone throwing.
Amazing.
And that is very much black and white. Like, she said to someone on Saturday, you need to be careful because something's happening in your marriage. The woman went home that night and found out that her husband had been cheating on her.
Like, you do not mess with this situation.
Yeah, definitely. I think the tarot card reading,
it was definitely easing us in.
We went for that softly, because I did not want someone to say to me, someone's going to die next year and you're going to do this and you're going to end up this. It's just too much. Like, I don't want that. Yeah. Whereas tarot cards, they are definitely softer. And I guess it's whoever your tarot card reader is, but she's called Amy, way more delicate and just really brilliant. Like I say, it wasn't all perfectly positive. She definitely said to Liv, maybe you can be a bit more vulnerable and, just be careful and don't, like, over celebrate yourself. You can, when she was celebrating herself with the flowers and everyone was cheering, she said, it's great, and you really do need to be proud of your accomplishments, which Liv struggles with because she's never proud of herself, even though she should be every day. But anyway, she was like,
but don't get too big. Don't be too big-headed.
Don't get ahead of yourself. When Liv's there in Dubai, like, buying everyone champagne, and everyone's like, woohoo! It's just like, calm down. Like, just put that little throne down, that crown down for a second, and
realize, like, obviously you're welcome to obviously give yourself a pat on the back for the things that you've achieved.
Yeah, but stay humble.
But still stay humble. Yeah,
definitely.
Which I think I would. I would never want.
I totally agree. But maybe she can see in the future, and she sees you like
being an absolute
on a yacht somewhere, like. Yeah.
You'll be on that yacht with me, hon.
Too right. Having a rest. Which is apparently what I need to do. So it was all really good. But definitely, I know, like, with star signs, when you used to read, I used to read the Metro on the way to work when I used to get the tram into work.
I love star signs,
and
though.
I know, same, but it'd say like, you are going to be amazing, or you are this. And I'd be like, yeah, too right. And I think it's easy to think, well, yeah, of course it's all positive. You're going to go, yeah, that's me, that's me. But it wasn't all perfectly positive. She definitely did, say to Liv, maybe you could do this. And pull, like, get
do's and don'ts, basically. She highlighted the do's and don'ts and things that you should change and not change.
Yeah.
And I think it couldn't have summed it up more. And
I agree.
I'm definitely glad I went. And I think for the value for the money, it was just insane.
So it was 3 cards was £10, 5 cards was £25, and 10 cards was £50.
Yeah.
Which is why we wanted to go first, because we just thought, I personally don't want to get the girls together, and even people spend a lot of money 25 quid and go, oh, what's that? Everyone's trying to look after the pennies at the moment. So we're going to definitely organise a night with them, with the girls, and hopefully everyone can get some card read and stuff in it.
Although now you've shared it, everyone will be booking in. But on, I want to hear your cards.
So my cards, they were quite different from Liv's. We took a different deck, which is fine because we're totally different people. So my first card was a little boy, and he had like a little wand in his hand, and apparently wands cards. When I say wands, I thought the whole time she was doing Liv cards, she was saying wands, but she wasn't. She was saying wands.
Wands.
Like magical
witch
wands.
Wands.
And so there was a little boy and a little donkey in the background, and it was in quite a free, open space. And she was just saying that as a person, like you're very free, which I think is true.
You are.
Like grounded, but you are quite wishful, and you have your whole life ahead of you. You've got some big dreams. You're on a journey. And you've got your whole life ahead. So that was a nice card.
It was a really good card.
And then the next one was of like a strong woman on a horse holding this pentacle thing, this big shield type thing. And she was just saying, I said on a horse, didn't I? Yeah, on this big horse who was kind of like trotting along.
Plodding,
yeah. And to be honest, when I saw that card, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. And it was okay. It was all right. She was basically saying, you're a strong woman, you're on this journey. The horse is moving quite slow. So she was saying, you're not going to get there tomorrow. Yeah. She said, you're not going to overnight get to where you want to be. You're on a journey, and you need to just be on that journey. And once you get there, once you get to where you want to be, you're going to go, and you're going to fly. But just take your time. Just enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah. And again, there were like maybe birds in that, or something. It's more like little animals. And again, she was saying, you're quite grounded and you're quite free, which again was quite nice. And then the next one was, a guy resting by a tree with like 4 crosses in the ground behind him. And she was saying that I need to rest and just take time. And it's a choice. Like the guy was lying down on a tree, but it was a choice for him to rest.
Yeah.
Because a lot goes on, and there's always loads going on, and maybe pain, maybe heartbreak at some point, and you need to make a conscious decision to just take a minute, just take a second, just rest, just relax, and then you're going to carry on. You're going to carry on that journey, but just bear with.
Yeah.
And then my 4th card, which was the how I perceive myself, I think that was. Yeah. That was another woman who had ginger hair, which I thought was very apt for me.
Yeah, so weird.
7 chalices in front of her, and she didn't know what was in those chalices, and she had a choice. Do you drink from them all? Do you not drink from any? What's in them? And then on the arm of this woman was some little fairies, and apparently in the witchy world, fairies are cheeky little things, like not necessarily great things. They're basically always chatting in your ear, telling jokes, maybe trying to lead you a bit down the garden path. And then there was a little butterfly below them. And what that was symbolising was, don't listen to people around you. There's always going to be people in my ear saying, you should do this, you should do that, like do this, do that. And maybe trying to steer you away. And the chalices represent kind of your heart as well. And it was like, follow your heart, make a choice based on what you want to make a choice on. Don't listen to those little like pesky fairies in your ear. And then the butterfly symbolised, I think, was it like growth and like making those choices and becoming who I was meant to be. Yeah. Which was really nice.
But now that you mention that, do you not think that was almost like an imposter syndrome situation?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like those fairies are kind of like somewhat like, they're like telling you, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, she said, didn't she?
That?
She did say, you know, it could be those fairies on your shoulder. It doesn't necessarily mean it's other people around you. It could mean self-doubt.
Yeah.
You go in, but can I actually do this? Should I do this?
Am I brave enough? You always have self-doubt. And I know you can do it. I know she can do it with her eyes shut. And yet you, in your head, you're like, oh, I don't know, no. And then as soon as you get started and you jump into it, you're like, okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is true. But I mean, I try not to be like that. I try not to have self-doubt. But I suppose, particularly in my job world, I definitely do. I always think,
everyone does though.
Yeah, I know, exactly they do, don't they? So, but it was just, follow my heart and kind of make my own decisions. And it's not about not listening to others, but it's maybe listening to the right people and just trying to understand who they are. And then once I've made those decisions, I'm just going to grow and I'm going to flourish, and I'm on this like amazing journey, which is great. And then my last card, which I felt like was probably the most powerful out of all of them, was a woman dressed all in black. She didn't really say what the black represented, but I'm going to go with luck, because a black cat is lucky. Yeah. So let's hope that wearing black is also good. Yeah. And this woman had, she was basically on her way on this journey up to this castle or something, and it was a long, steep, cobbly road, and she had like 10 sticks on her back, and it was just symbolising that I carry everyone's burdens and just carry a lot on my back. Yeah.
Which you do.
Yeah. People...
I think, like, Grace in our friendship group, she's like an agony aunt. Everyone comes to Grace with their problems, whether it be family, friends, no matter what. You literally know that you can text Grace and be like, oh, I'm going through whatever, and you know she's going to pick up the phone. Yeah. And I think sometimes, like, because she's just a sponge, I think you soak it all up and you try and help people the best you can. You're a bit of a therapist, a counsellor. Yeah. And I think, but sometimes you do unconsciously carry that burden. Yeah. I think without even realising.
It's a funny thing, because like that's just who I am.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I want to be that to my friends. I want every single person in my life to know that they can call me or vent to me and know that I'm going to just listen. If they want advice, I can try and give advice. Even just that shoulder to cry, and like I want to carry all of that.
And help them.
Yeah, but they were saying like on this journey, like basically on this journey of life, you're not always going to be able to carry that, because you're going to be on a journey, and sometimes it's going to be a lot, and you're not going to be able to carry it. And so sometimes, and there was a little squirrel on the picture, and it was basically saying, okay, that person might not be able to carry a lot, but hand a stick over, give someone else. Just say like, babe, sorry, right now, I
need help.
I can't, carry this by myself. Like, I need your support. Yeah. And it's funny because like years and years ago, when I first met Jamie, my husband, some of his friends, I don't know why, but they used to call him a squirrel. I think it was something to do with a meme that he got sent once, and it had a squirrel on and he loved it. And I just thought that is so strange. Literally. Because I've not even thought about that for years and years.
It's like he's in the picture. And especially because like, you got so many cards and like choose redhead and stuff. Yeah. To then get the squirrel at the end. It was just really weird.
Yeah, it was just weird. Yeah. And it was saying, I felt like it was saying to me like, share the load, share it with Jamie. You know, I come from a big family, like things are going to happen in our life. Yeah. And as much as I want to carry it all.
Get through it together.
Like you can just, it's not saying give it all, but just share that load a bit. And it's okay to turn to people and say, right now I'm going through a bit myself. I just can't really deal with this right now. I mean, I think I'll always struggle with that, because I'll always want to help. You will. But it was just really interesting, and especially because it had the little squirrel in and that kind of relation to Jamie. It was really weird, and for me, probably the most powerful card. But that was it. And what we'll do is we'll post. We took a picture of both our cards, both our packs, so we can post them on Instagram. And if you wanted to look into them, you absolutely can. But it was just really, really interesting, wasn't it?
It was really good.
I cannot wait. Mama's Mojo Magic, they do lots of nights and retreats for like £125. I think they're doing 6 or 8 this year. Yeah. And you go at 11 o'clock in the morning and you're there until 6, 7 o'clock at night. Yeah. And they do life coaching. They do lots of magic. You can take whatever you want from the shop, so all the herbs and everything, it's all included, and they feed you throughout the day. So
it's really, really good.
Yeah, I think
we're going to do one.
We're definitely going to do one. It's, in my opinion, after this morning, is absolutely worth the £125.
Yeah, it is.
And they just do so much, and for them, it's a passion. It's who they are. They live as witches, don't they?
Oh my gosh. And then, sorry to end, but once this card situation and both of them had been read, we just started getting into this, didn't we?
We did.
And the other lady who was there, Sal, she was obviously talking to us because we were like, oh, what's the other services and sort of things that you do? And she basically said that she reads bones, which is basically where she scrambles the bones on a map. And then basically it tells you like lots of different things, e.g. like relationships, work life,
It's a lot more hardcore.
Yeah, it's a bit more hardcore. So you have to be a bit more robust, I think, to take that one on board, because I think it can be quite hard hitting. And then the other one is, so she had these rods, and they like rod, but like it's coated in something like a handle almost. So it swings like both ways. It can go 360. It's literally like a full on swing. And she basically held them and she just went, ask me a question. And we asked some questions.
We did.
And it was so weird. It was so weird.
And so on her rods, she has this coating, so you can't fudge them, because I've seen these rods before. And obviously if you're holding a rod, even with your hand, you can just turn it slightly. But with these ones, because they were coated, like there's literally nothing you can do.
There was nothing. She couldn't have done anything with it.
Yeah, because these things just spun around. So she held them and she said, point to Grace. And slowly
it
pointed to me.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
And then we asked them a few questions, and I asked them one question and they were swinging. They were like this, which meant yes.
Mad.
Thank God for that. I needed the yes after, because I'd had a no.
Yeah, because then we asked them a question and he said no as well, so it crossed over.
Yeah, and it was quite a quick no to the question that I asked.
Yeah.
Which was quite sad. But there we go. It's fine. It's fine. Like, life has a funny way of showing up for you, doesn't it? Yeah. But I mean, ultimately, like, I honestly believe that we're all on a journey anyway. We've all got a path and it's pre-planned, and we make choices along the way, but what's going to be is going to be.
Yeah.
And I try and live my life like that anyway, I think, as you all know. And you've just got to be positive. And I think it really leads on to, as a person, I don't know why or where it's come from, and it's probably really silly, but all my life, like, I just feel like, you know, auras and people are colours.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've never discussed this with you before, but when someone comes into my presence and when they leave and I think about that person, I think about them like as a colour. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, so some people are in your life, and like I'll always say to Jamie and stuff like, oh, they're just so bright, and they just feels like bright orange, like coming into my life, and he's just such a bright, gorgeous orange aura. But what comes with that is like fieriness and like passion.
Yeah.
And then some people come in and I think, God, they're grey, like dark grey. Yeah. And it's not necessarily all bad, but it's just that's what they're giving me, and maybe that's my best way of just feeling it. Yeah, just
people
I don't know. Sometimes like when we're chatting about people that we've met or whatever, and we'll walk away and you feel maybe a bit deflated or a bit like, oh, I don't love that, or the opposite, you think, oh my God, like I love being around that person and that people. And there's just this brightness or aura around them. And I honestly, with all my friends, every single one of you have a colour.
Really?
Yeah.
What's my colour?
Orange, bright orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that though?
Because you bring sunshine, and it's like a bright light orange. It's like
that's cute.
Sunshine coming in to my life. And
I love
just
that.
Whenever you leave, I always feel fulfilled and energized. And I never feel like,
suck life out of you like
gosh, that was hard. Yeah, and like some people are purple, and like darker, deep purple, and that for me that's maybe like just really a deep person, someone with a lot going on and a lot of depth to them, someone that I could sit with for hours on end and get really deep with, and really, really like connected to. Yeah. But also what kind of can come with that is a lot of energy.
Burden.
Yeah. Maybe. But
told you she takes it on.
It's not even burden, but just it's a lot. Like when they leave, I feel like I need to put Beverly Hills on because and be like
something a bit like hearty, a bit of trash TV or something.
Yeah, not all the time. Like I think colours can change as well. Someone might come and be like a black, but then the next time I see
it, life they're in,
definitely. But
I love that.
Yeah, I love it. Like all our friends, they're all like amazing. But that's just a thing for me.
I might try that.
Yeah, just see how people make you feel.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, when people come in and you be like, gosh, they're red, like fiery red, or they're like burgundy, or they're like a chocolate brown, and it's like warm and it's nice, but there's like just a bit more to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, That is a weird little thing for me.
I know. I've never really thought about people being colours and auras. But it does make sense because obviously you feed off people's energy, don't you?
Of course you do. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, we've spoke a lot about spiritualism and tarot cards. So I feel like that is probably the majority of this episode, which is absolutely fine. But maybe just to like make things a little bit lighter, Molly May.
Oh my God, Molly May. Molly May's documentary's coming out.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, when this goes out, it'll have come out. And but basically, I cannot wait. She's dropping it in 3 episodes per drop. But she is. I don't think it's going to be as dish in the dirt as people think.
I think Molly May's a bit like you. I think she gives what she wants you to know, but no more.
Yeah.
And I think she will have been. I think even though it's meant to be like 24 hours camera in there, because apparently they said it was something like 24 hours after her and Tommy broke up.
They went straight in. When you've got 24 hours to make a decision and you're coming in.
So how much can you hide, when you've been told that, like, your actual feelings? There's no way in 24 hours I could pull myself together.
I don't think she's hiding the fact that she's upset. I mean, everyone knows she was upset. Yeah. She came onto social media, she came on YouTube and she was like obviously declaring how upset she was, but obviously that she was ready to move on and she just didn't want to talk about it anymore. And I get it, like you are getting bombarded. I think the biggest thing is like, I read an article this morning that apparently he's got a drink problem and that's why they broke up.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously he was partying for a little while, wasn't he? For like a good year beforehand, so who knows? But I don't think it's going to be as
dishy.
Yeah, like when you watch the Kardashians, there is no hiding it. Like you see everything that happens in their lives. I mean, obviously there might be some business things that they don't want us to see in the kids' inside, but even then, eventually they come out because they get released into the public. And I just think that like it is going to be interesting to see. Yeah, because there's nothing that I don't feel that I'm. From a perspective of a viewer from YouTube, I don't think there's anything really that we're going to be seeing more of in this documentary. It might just be like the making of her, so how she got to where she was. Like it'll be like previous jobs when she grew up, what school she went to, what college she went to. I think it's going to be like her journey to how she is where she is. Yeah. I don't think it'll be about her personal life as much.
I think it's a funny one with Molly because I think that she has a full-time job outside of this. Like, she is creative director at Pretty Little Thing.
No, she's not.
Oh, is she not?
No, she stepped down.
Oh, right.
She's doing Maybe now. She's got her own brand.
Okay.
She doesn't creative direct anymore. Someone else was creative directing Pretty Little Thing. I can't remember who. But yeah, no, it was massive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then she decided to step out of the fast fashion universe and create her own line that is more, what do you call it? It's more like higher quality, luxury, women's, everyday women's wear, whatever.
Exactly.
I think eventually, I don't know whether she'll take it to her grave, but I do think eventually, like, things will come out eventually. But I don't know.
I just get that
Mind
sense.
you, and I get this from the videos, is she wants to do the best for her daughter and put her daughter first before anything.
And this is exactly what I mean. Like, I think she really has this, like, moral ground that she's on and what she believes.
Appreciate it, though.
Yeah, and she is like
her values.
Yeah, exactly. And she's just like, I'm gonna give you what I need to give you. Like, she has been trolled.
Yeah, she has.
She has really like gone through it.
Do you know what I love? I love the fact that in this documentary that I've been watching clips of so far, she just looks like an everyday gal. Yeah. I love it. Don't get me wrong, she has a really nice handbags and a really nice dress sense and a really nice house
she's worked
and a really
hard
nice car. But she's worked really hard for all those things. But deep down, like, since she's got all the filler and everything removed, she's gone so natural. And I think she looks amazing. I really, really do.
You can definitely connect with her more, seeing...
You just feel like she's just one of your girls, don't you?
You do.
I think for someone so young to have such a mature head on her shoulders, even from day dot, basically.
She used Love Island as... She did the perfect thing, didn't she? Yeah. She went into Love Island, kind of got what she wanted to get, which obviously she still got because they're back together. But she got from that, and then
are they back together though?
I think so.
Do you?
Yeah,
I mean, there was a video of them snogging on New Year's Eve. Yeah. But I think, like, how could you not you can't just stop having feelings.
No, exactly, and that's fine. And she's human. She's absolutely human. And no doubt, you find out that your fella's been cheating on you. That's it. I'm never taking him back. A few weeks go by. It's a bit like Charlotte Dawsey.
Yeah.
Like
there's a lot more behind it than people are seeing.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that like obviously when you're messaging someone and calling someone in like all the time, and obviously she's the co-parenting as well. Like you've got like such a strong bond and relationship that like.
And they went through Love Island together. They've been through everything together. And Tommy, the family that he comes from. I think that's what makes it more frustrating though.
I mean, obviously, like as long as they're happy, that's the main thing. As long as they're happy, each to their own, and it's just like
that is
as long as. And I think that like actually he did make her happy, and
the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah, exactly.
And go water Molly May.
She's already warned me. She is hydrated. Have you seen that skin?
Yeah, she is hydrated.
Need to get some tips.
I know, but also another exciting thing to come is Britney Spears' doc, which is coming out.
I've not seen this.
Yeah, so I heard about it on another podcast that you actually sent me a few months ago. Another couple, there's a boy and a girl podcast, Pop something I think, and they mentioned it. And the director is the same director who's directed Wicked. So it's gonna be good.
Really?
Yeah. Going to be good.
Oh my God.
And
that'll be on Disney Plus, let's face it.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Yeah.
So it's a biopic. So it's basically it's from the book that she released. What was it? The Woman in Me?
Yes. And I read that. Did you read it?
Yeah. Well, I audio
booked it. Yeah. Same.
It's the only book that I've ever done that with, actually. And I listened to it.
I didn't have time to read it. Yeah. And it was like 300 pages or something.
Yeah.
I could have read it in 10 minutes.
But yeah, so I think we'll all be hooked for that because we grew up with Britney.
But I've watched every documentary about Britney Spears and I just think that like, I think it's just a bit too little too late for her, hon.
Do you think?
I think all the messing with meds on, off,
in
do you
rehab,
mean who
out
she
of
rehab,
is? Yeah.
Who's looking after her money, who's not looking after her money, who she can trust, who she can't trust. She then obviously married a husband, now divorced her husband. I think there's just a lot of okey-cokey going on there.
I know,
and I think like that's enough to fuck anybody up in the head. Like,
to mess anyone up.
And I feel so sorry. I really, really, really like feel sorry for her.
I mean, can you imagine becoming so famous like Hit Me Baby One More Time came out when she was 16 years old or 15.
She was sexualised from a young age,
and she was, and that's what she says in the book. Like, from the moment she was this perfect little blonde schoolgirl that men and women like obsessed. Really did, and it was a different time to now. It just wouldn't be a thing. Although
it wouldn't be acceptable.
No,
it wasn't acceptable then, but it definitely wouldn't be acceptable now.
I think it's different now. So girls now, Sabrina Carpenter's of the world, Olivia Rodriguez, like all of these pop stars that are young.
They're more sexualised now. I feel
they are, but I feel like it's in a more I'm making this choice, and they have a lot of people behind
charge of
them.
my own body.
Exactly.
Yes.
Women empowerment. Yes. Like, I'm going to be sexy, and you're going to know about it. Like, it's a conscious decision. It's not someone from Universal saying to them, wear this cute little skirt and we'll put your hair in little pigtails and we're going to make you look as young as possible.
I think that's the same though with all this OnlyFans stuff because like you've got like Bonnie Blue, you've got like the girls from Love Island, Megan Barton, Hanson. I mean, gorgeous, like stunning. But obviously they've just been like, I'm not going to go on Instagram and earn this kind of cash.
100%.
Why post a bikini pic when I can go on OnlyFans and earn way more?
I mean, if we've held off talking about Bonnie Blue because she's got enough publicity.
There's so much.
She is making millions and millions of sexy little dollars without us having to speak about it, and we're not going to do anything.
She slept with 1,000,
1,000 men.
Yeah,
I know. But anyway, I would love to know from you guys whether or not you'd like us to chat about her, because we could probably chat about her for a whole episode. But
we might as well just get into it now.
I know.
Let's get into it.
I know, but we've done an hour.
1,000 men.
I know. 1,000 men.
We can do part 2.
Yeah, part 2. Yeah. 1,000 men, which is over 1,000 men, which is wild.
So that's part 1. We're going to wrap up now because obviously we've just been going on a bit too long, but we will be seeing you for part 2 in a couple of days.
You don't normally get this, but because we've been chatting so long about tarot cards,
we need to.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up,
but
we'll bring out a part 2.
Don't miss us too much.